This is Stephen Wachowski from Christian Music Network, and we're here with David Allen Kurtz. So how are you doing?
I want to be able to see you, though. My phone just did something. There it is. There it is.
Okay,
I'm doing great, brother. I'm really excited to be here. Appreciate what you do. Just telling people all about the Lord, about different artists and things. So I'm here in Morgantown, Pennsylvania currently. Where are you?
Oh, Warminster, PA. Still in Pennsylvania. Yep.
We're practically neighbors then. No
Exactly.
worries. So I've been doing this for many, many years. I started playing piano when I was 3 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I was in the front parlor of my great-grandfather's house. And I couldn't reach the floor, but I could play. And I played just the black keys. And it sounded like this. And my mom and dad ran in the room. They're like, who's playing the piano? It was me. Cool. So they thought, well, it appears the Lord's given him a little bit of talent. We want to start getting him lessons. So I started taking lessons when I was 5.
Wow.
And yeah, my mom had the old white egg timer, and she set it for 20 minutes at first, then 30 minutes, then 45 minutes, then an hour. And where did I want to be? Out playing football and baseball with the guys.
Of course.
Of course. But I thank her now for seeing something. You know, as parents, we try to find what is that thing that the Lord has gifted our kids with, and we try to encourage them that. And for me, it was totally music. So I've taken lessons, like I said, since I was 5. I went to Westchester University, and it was a music major there for 1 semester. Every month that I was there at Westchester, I had somebody calling me up saying, we need a keyboard player. Would you like to go on the road? Well, I decided to, after much prayerful consideration, to actually follow that. There was a band that had played at my high school, and I was on the road crew for them. And they were learning this song. Come Sail Away.
Yeah.
Back in 1977, I think it was, man, many moons ago. Well, I knew all the parts to the song, so I taught the band how to play that song. And it just so happens that the owner of this band was visiting from Florida. It was a company out of Florida. And they said to me, you know, David, being in music, sometimes you have to be at the right time at the right place. So this was all part of God's plan. I eventually said yes, and I was in a band that this guy owned like 9 different groups in Florida. And we went all of the United States and Canada. So I was privileged to play. The only 2 states I haven't played in is Alaska and Hawaii. Okay. And every province in Canada, I worked with Youth for Christ then for a while and toured like 12 or 14 different countries in Europe, did 3 different European tours. Name a genre of music, I've probably done it, all the way from from gospel to thrash metal.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So many, many different kinds of things. I love to write. Currently, I have a music business. Okay. And I produce, we just did, this is one of the latest albums we did here with this group.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And that group, I tied into my Pennsylvania Dutch roots.
Okay.
So I know a little bit of Pennsylvania Dutch, enough for some of the Amish people to say, "Wel na ga wat I say." And I say, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So I ended up working a lot with that particular community where the kids, they had to hide their instruments from their parents, like in the barn, because they weren't allowed to have instruments. But man, God has opened so many doors, so many different doors. I just played last night. Are you familiar with Shady Maple? the
Yes.
big restaurant. Okay.
Yes.
So they had a big banquet room. Do you remember, oh my gosh, Evidence that Demands a Verdict? His
Right,
name just went right out of my head.
Yes. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, he was there. There was probably 1,200 Amish and Old Order Mennonite at this thing that I played last night with that group called A Grace.
Wow.
So, and I was able to, when we did that album, a lot of times people will come to me and say, you know, would you be able to play on the album? Piano was my first instrument, but then I learned drums, I learned guitar, I learned bass guitar. Name an instrument, I can do it. So God is like, I'm very thankful that I'm able to do that, especially with having the studio here. So that's some of the stuff. I usually have about 50 to 60 private music students a week.
Wow.
I know. And again, name an instrument. That's what I teach.
That's great. That's great. So tell me the name of your studio.
It's Lifeline Studios.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And the business is Lifeline Studios and Music Services.
Okay.
So we've had that for a number of years. I taught in the public school, but not just music. That's another thing that the Lord opened a lot of doors for me. I'm kind of like the Renaissance man. When I learned about that in 7th grade, I'm like, I would like to be that thing. Sure. So I've taught everything from kindergarten to like up into college level, name a subject, even tech school and stuff. So God has really allowed me to do a lot of really neat things. I started playing, like in churches and things. And then I was in music groups Christian groups from the time I was in like high school. And like I said, name a genre, and still to this day, like right now, especially like during COVID and stuff, I was working with 3 or 4 different churches doing kind of what we're doing here, where we'd record the worship service and then they would do their thing. So, and I put worship bands together with 3 different churches, and then do stuff with my home church as well. Once a month, we do a really awesome thing here at our home called Praise Haven, where I have a house band. I have my go-to guys, and then I'll invite another worship team in from another church or a worship group or whatever. And we get anywhere up to like 50, 60 people here at our home.
Wow.
So it's quite a ministry. But how about if I do a little play? Now I talked quite a bit.
Yes, sure. Yes.
Do you have any questions, my friend?
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah. What do you want to share? What, yeah.
I think, let's see. I'm going to do one called Lead Me, Lord.
Okay.
Yeah. Lead me, Lord, and captivate my soul. Take me to your mountain, God, I pray. As I look into your face, so filled with love, the troubles that surround me melt away. And I walk through the valley, thinking hope has passed me by. Lift me up on the wings of your spirit, giving hope for a tomorrow, a future and a promise, a new day. Lead me, Lord, and captivate my soul. Take me to your mountain, God, I pray. As I look into troubles that surround me, confuse and then confound me, melt away.
Awesome. So tell me about that song.
That was one of the first ones that I wrote after I went through an intense time, an intensely hard time in my life. The Lord just opened up the floodgates, and I have about 2 albums worth of material. Some stuff I have produced, some stuff is like in a live version. That particular song was just crying out for the Lord to continue to lead and guide. And just like it says, the middle part, when I walk through the valley thinking hope has passed me by, you lift me up on the wings of your spirit, giving hope for a tomorrow, a future, and a promise of a new day. Jeremiah 29:11-13. It's kind of based off of that. So that's where that song came from. I also get people like commissioning songs. I have vacation Bible schools. Like I did a song that I wrote with my son, who is now almost 30. But the theme of the vacation Bible school was faith. And so, of course, I'm not a procrastinator at all. See my fingers crossed. Yes, I am. I know I'm an adrenaline junkie sometimes. But I'm talking with my son the morning before this, and it was formulating in my head. It's not like it wasn't kind of there, but I took him downstairs before we went to church, and he was like, I don't know, 5, 6 at the time. I'm like, all right, we're going to write a song for Vacation Bible School. And he's all excited because he was part of it. I said, who do you think we should write about? He's like, well, it's about faith, right? And so let's write about Noah, because there had never been rain. And what's an ark? That whole thing. Let's write about Abraham. That's just leaving to go to a new land. Write about Joshua, fighting the battle. So we came up. I'll play you a little bit of this one. By faith, it can be done. By faith, the battle is won. By faith, if we believe the Son. By faith, it can be done. God told Noah to build an ark. It was a very big job, not a walk in the park. His neighbors said, man, that boat looks fine, but hey, Noah, you're out of your mind. By faith, it can be done. By faith, the battle is won. By faith, if we believe the Son. By faith, it can be done. The battle is won. If we believe on the Son. By faith, it can be done. Of course, there's more verses to it, but that's the gist.
Cool.
We had like 800-900 kids out to that vacation Bible school that year. Another maybe a couple hundred staff and stuff. So 1,200-1,500 people at that VBS.
Cool. Wow. Awesome.
So, very, very cool. I had a teacher that told me how to take hymns and turn them into arrangements of my own. Most, hymns are written in 4-part harmony.
Sure.
Right. So this was an album that I did of all hymns called Timeless Reflections. And I wrote it for my mom because she, my mom, my dad, my grandmother, excuse the pun, were instrumental in helping me to get where I am today. I would never be where I am without their encouragement, love, support, financial support, getting me all kinds of instruments and stuff. They were vital in the journey that I'm continuing on with the Lord in music and ministry and things. So Mrs. Bieber, I'm pretty sure I was, let me think. I think I was sixth grade, maybe sixth, seventh grade, right? And she was wonderful. My first piano teacher taught me how to do, I grew up in Quakertown, and these were the horses, and you had to get the horse in the right stall, getting your right finger on the right key.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and she made me sing everything, not just play it. So I would be like, here we go up a row to a birthday party, all the little kids, all the little songs, everything.
Okay.
And that helped to develop my vocal as well as my understanding of matching pitches and, playing the songs and stuff. Mrs. Bieber, she's like, well, what's a hymn that you like? This was I think the second or third teacher that I've had. And my grandfather liked this one. What a friend we have in Jesus.
Right.
And she's like, okay, well, let's see what we can do with that. And we're going to arrange that. And this is what Mrs. Bieber taught me.
Nice.
So that was just so valuable to take all those old hymns and make arrangements. So the one Mother's Day, and I always tell her the store was closed. I'm sorry I didn't have time to go out and get you a present. But I sat down in my studio and I played like, I don't know, 15, 18 hymns.
Wow.
And didn't rehearse, just played what was coming into my heart. And
sure.
These arrangements came out. And so we ended up putting like 12 on this disc.
Awesome.
And I've sold thousands of copies of that to different ministries, hospice groups, different churches, old folks' homes, all kinds of different places have used that. And now, when I play in churches, I use some of the arrangements and just make up my own. Again, we just did a big hymn sing at one of the churches that I played in. I play at, and they just called out hymns and we did it. So that's a wonderful, I'm very thankful to Mrs. Bieber for teaching me that. But I also had interest in like other styles, obviously, other genres. So I wrote a song, this one's called Stranger, and it's about I wrote it for my brother, who, you can be churched and kind of have a head knowledge of God.
Sure.
But it's different if it's here and in your heart. And so this was the song I wrote for him. left behind. So a pretender, try to remember what was once stitched upon your mind. Oh, don't you know the Lord, He loves you, placed His guiding hand upon you, shed His blood so that we might be led into life if we would just receive. And it goes on like that, but a lot of story kind of telling.
Sure. Awesome.
Songs and things. I play a lot of coffee houses, concerts, and I just kind of, man, I'm privileged. I get to do, God has gifted me with music, and I just want to get back to Him, and I've done so many things. I'm 62 now. And so the different chapters that I can look back in my life and see, from junior high and high school and those ministries to when I was in college and on the road in my early 20s to being in, here's part of this. Our albums were just re-released on vinyl.
Oh, wow.
From my thrash metal band. Here's
one of them. Wow, Thresher.
Thresher. Yeah.
And
we had two of them. Here's another one.
Okay. Awesome.
Right there it is. So that was kind of a privilege. Oh yeah, that band toured all up and down the East Coast, and we opened for some bigger Christian bands in that particular genre. It definitely was a niche market, not everybody's into like the mosh pit and things.
Sure, yeah.
That ship has sailed, brother.
Sure,
but
sure. Cool.
It's just been an honor now to encourage people, encourage my students. I love teaching. I love giving what God has given me and sending it back out to this next generation and seeing them take off. So I put together like youth worship bands. I work with, bigger adult worship bands and all kinds of things. So I don't know, who am I? I'm this guy that I'm just trying to walk humbly with God in obedience and do what He asks me to do. So I also like jazz. So I'll take songs and I'll tell people to, all right, we're going to play Name This Tune. All right. Here you go, Steve. What song is it? Dude, one note. You can't do that.
One note. Yeah.
That would be like a
song. Yeah. I can't do that. Yeah.
Here we go. I'll give you a little more.
Okay. Jesus Loves Me.
That's it. You win. And then
okay. Yes. Awesome. Well,
and I played, like when my dad was in the nursing home, I'd go and do like gigs there. And my grandmother, she was just a vital person in my life. She almost made it to 100, brother.
Wow.
She 99 and just a powerful prayer warrior.
Wow.
And again, just very supportive in all the things musically and otherwise that I've done. Yeah. So cool. Do you have any questions or?
Yeah. So how do we get your music?
Well, I sold out of these actually. I'm in the process again.
All right.
I'm in the process of getting more of these, and I want to put them on like Spotify and some of the other
Sure.
formats that are there. I am so busy, Steve. And
Okay.
sometimes, I've got to, I think as I've aged, I've learned to say no.
Right.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should be doing it. Like in my 20s, oh my word, I knew everything and I could do everything. And yeah. And the
Sure.
older I got, I felt like the apostles, like, what do I know? Or there's so much more to know, really.
Right. Yeah.
And to pick
Yeah.
and choose and really prayerfully consider, what I'm doing. So yeah, with the business, that keeps me really, really busy. I'm like I said, between about 50 to 60 students a week, and
Wow.
I tune pianos,
Sure.
which is kind of a lost art with around this area too.
Okay.
Um, we do DJ work, so I do a lot of Christian weddings and play for weddings, and then do like the music for the receptions because I'm
Okay.
like an MC guy, spin the plates. um, Anything related to music, I'll put bands together for different events and so on and so forth. So it's a lot. It's a lot to do. I work with the local high school kids, with the marching band and the band. I'll play in the. I was so honored to play in the pit with. We did Annie last year here in Twin
Wow.
Valley High School, and my daughter is quite the actress and singer. My youngest. All of my kids are. My wife plays violin. She's a concert violinist. We do gigs as a family. So Ocean Grove, New Jersey, we
Right.
play there like at least once a year.
Oh.
But we do all kinds of things, and all my kids play and sing
Oh.
different instruments and stuff. So I am so blessed, man. I'm living the
Wonderful.
dream. Yeah, I can't
Oh.
wait though to can't wait to get to heaven and just sing in that choir, man. I'd be a janitor even. I don't care. I'll sing as a janitor, man. But I'm just looking forward to worshiping in heaven as well. I love to worship. So how do you get the music? These some of this stuff is actually on YouTube and online.
Okay.
The Thresher material. That's this one, Thresher.
Okay.
And again, that's not everybody. Oh my word! Oh, look at the back of this, Steve. See
Okay.
that guy there?
Yeah.
That ship has sailed too. That's me, man.
Okay. Wow. Oh, awesome.
Things have changed, brother.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
good. Though.
Yeah.
And some of the other ones, like I have a. My daughter is helping me to make like a YouTube channel and get some of
Oh.
this stuff up because who has CD players anymore? Some of us do, but it's
Yeah.
mostly
Yeah.
MP3 and different formats and stuff. So I got
Right.
to get on the stick to get stuff out.
Yes. 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 Definitely. So how can we contact you?
Well, I can be contacted at Lifeline Studios and Music Services, and that is my Facebook page. And you
Okay.
can definitely get a hold of me through that. Or, man, you want to? I guess some people still use email too. It's my name, Dave Kurtz, 123 at gmail.com.
Okay.
So you can always get a hold of me there. And if you want something, I've sent stuff out to people. If you need a contact for like you're looking for a worship band or you're looking for, I even do like some classic rock stuff.
Oh.
Where we put bands together for all types of events. We have a bluegrass kind of a band. I play mandolin in that one. Some of the bands I'll play trumpet and all kinds of different things. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh. Awesome. 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 So when you do play out, what are your concerts like?
Some of them are more like a coffee house type environment.
Okay.
Like I said, we do our Praise Haven event here once a month where we'll get 50, maybe 60 people out to that. We also do events here at our home. We'll do outside concerts when it's nice. We have a big deck where we set people up on, and we'll get a lot of people out for those. Sometimes people, like, they're looking for a band. They hire, like, can you do, I got something coming up now where they want someone to play for a 50th or 60th party or something. Someone just turned a certain age. Other events, so it runs from small to really big. Like a lot of the Mennonite and Amish concerts that I do, it's really interesting because they'll have events, and Steve, like, they'll get like 1,200 people out to an event like that.
Wow.
And it'll be like, you know, 15-20 bucks a pop to get in, and they're raising money to support some mission group or some type of thing like that. It's just been, that's been a blessing. I've been fortunate enough to work with some students too that are just incredibly talented, and I have some friends in Nashville. So the one fella, he just came to my house. I was looking to put a shed in because my wife was tired of well, we were both tired of I was starting the music business up, and there was like 30 people coming in and out of the house, and she was like, oh, we need to do something about this. So I converted my garage over to a teaching studio, but then I needed another place to put all my equipment. That's another thing I do. I've run sound for many different Christian artists that come through the Philadelphia area here. So that's been anything music related. I do like conferences for like worship conferences on teach people how to run sound, how to record, all kinds of things. So we ended up needing a shed at our old house, and this fella just, were out of the blue. Yeah, okay. He comes, and he was a younger guy, and you know, I talk to people. So he was like, well, I play guitar for my church and my worship band. I'm like, well, look, if you ever want to get coached or take a couple of lessons or do something, give me a call. Well, he did. And it turns out that I worked with this kid for a number of years, and we worked on songwriting, guitar playing, banjo, and his vocal, which is really good. His name is Wilmer Stolzfus. Okay. His mom is Old Order Mennonite. The dad was Amish, right? Well, he started writing some really good songs, and I put him in touch with some people I know in Nashville. A couple years, like 5 years down the road, 5 or 6 years down the road, he was one of the top 5 new artists in Nashville. He's got a gospel album out. He's got a country album out. They changed his name to Will Stoltz instead of Wilmer Stoltz.
Wow.
And so when he comes up from Nashville, I play, you know, with his group and his band. Also, I taught, I think, almost everybody in his family, his sister, 2 or 3 of the brothers, I think. So he was my first contact and inroad into that Old Order Mennonite ex-Amish group. And boy, they can sing. Because they haven't had instruments, but boy, can they vocalize and sing. I usually have to just teach them how to count and how to keep time. So, but that's been a real blessing. I just did a huge wedding where they, Will and his wife came up from Nashville. She's a fiddle player, and we did a whole big concert at this wedding. It was just wonderful. So, we played with Chubby Checker, which is kind of fun too. He's yeah. So a lot of really neat things the Lord's allowed me to do.
Awesome. Yeah. So what's ahead for you?
Say it again.
What's ahead for you?
What's ahead for me?
Yes.
Wow. Man, I've been doing well. The live music has opened up again since COVID is kind of on the down rise. That I saw affect so many churches and so many friends, and be incredibly divisive. Pastors that were just so burned out with dealing with it. You should close, you shouldn't close, you should wear your mask, you shouldn't wear your mask, you should get vaccinated, you shouldn't get vaccinated. And I saw people just destroyed by that. And it's been intense. So we had a church that stayed open, and we did big we did big services outdoors. So we had huge tents, and we were getting hundreds of people that would come in from churches that were either closed or that wouldn't particularly allow the older, like 50 and up, to even come to church. They, like, you know, they wanted to, I guess, protect them and such. But so that led to, obviously things are starting to open up, and now I'm getting more and more calls to do coffee houses, to do concerts. The church, I love worshiping. Like I said, the churches that I play at, some of them I'll do contemporary worship and, you know, stuff you hear on like contemporary Christian radio. And I'll put bands together to cover that stuff, or I'll play just the piano and do my own arrangements of things. But some of these churches have like the organs in them, and I play that too. So they get all excited when I do the hymns on the organs, and oh my word, that's a lot of fun.
That's a
the
lost
other
art.
thing that's, say it again.
That's a lost art. Doing the organs.
It is a lost art. It really is.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that I could provide that, and just to see the joy in people's faces, you know, when they see the organ being played, or they hear a song, or they say, "Can you play?" And I'm like, "Sure, I can, and I'll do it for you this Sunday." So encouraging people, I see that in my future, to continue that, to continue to teach and help to raise up, you know, kids are, they're not the future church. They're the church. They're part of the church, I fully believe, you know. So raising up these younger worship leaders and things, helping to, you know, facilitate them along, and encourage them in their talents and their gifts. That's definitely in my future. To continue to play with my family, I love doing that. That just does my heart good when, you know, I'm looking around and it's my kids and my wife, and we're doing work for the Lord. It just, it makes me happy. So that's kind of what I see, you know. And I would, thank you, Jesus, love to do this till I go home.
Yeah. Awesome.
So, you know, I'm in relatively good health. My knees need a little help, but that's that.
Okay, cool. So do you have any advice for other musicians?
Do I have what? I'm sorry, my phone's being weird.
Advice.
Oh, advice for other musicians.
Yeah.
Advice for other musicians. Music, I believe, like life, I want to be a lifelong learner. So, you know, I don't profess to have everything down. It's just like the word says, we see dimly as in a mirror. We know in part, but then when we see him face to face, we'll know fully. So we keep working towards those gifts that we get. Just because you have a gift or a talent doesn't mean you're going to be good. You got to put the work into it, you know? So I have friends that are in their teachers, 70s and 80s, that are saying, you know, I think I'm getting it now. And they're monster players. They're amazing players, but they keep working at their craft to improve and improve and improve. You know, we want to bring to God the absolute best that we can be, a sweet and fragrant aroma up to his throne room, the first fruits, the best that we can possibly be. I don't want to be a hack. I want to be, you know, he gave me this talent. I'm going to work on it and continue to work on it. And, you know, to be humble, you know, my parents definitely put in my head, you know, don't think that you're all that, because there's always going to be somebody better than you. And with the advent of like all the social media, YouTube, and all the different formats, you know, when growing up, like, yeah, you knew there were in your town, there were some people that were good in this and that. Maybe you went to some concerts and this and that. But like with what we have now, there are a bazillion really, really good people out there.
Yes.
So to be humble with your craft, but to continue to work on it and strive to be the best that you can be. You know, it's all about communication. Music communicates in ways that mere words, I believe, can't. You know, you can get across emotions, you can get across feelings and things. And when you tap into something that I've gone through that you can relate to, it's like okay, there you go. And all of a sudden God is speaking to you, the Spirit's speaking to you in ways that are just even beyond words. You get these feelings, and man, music, I love music. So yeah, what's the advice? Always keep practicing and playing. Don't get too big for your britches either. So, and if you're working with people, be an encourager. Don't tear people down. Be an encourager. You catch more flies with honey. You know, you got to be nice and kind to people, and work on stuff, especially if you're doing like a group. You know, you can't be like a little dictator or something like that. You want to encourage, bring out the best. And then, especially if you're doing worship, you better know your song. Because if you're up there Sunday or you're at a concert and you're worried about or concerned about the music or playing a wrong note, you're not worshiping.
Yeah.
You got to let all that go. And then, boom, then you can worship. You better know all that stuff really, really well before you get in front of people.
Yeah.
So there's my advice. That's 2 cents, baby.
Awesome. Cool. Well, I'd like to thank you for coming on, David. It was my pleasure. Any last words?
Man, again, I just love what you're doing, my brother. We will continue to pray for you and the ministry that you do in touching people's lives with music and just giving artists a chance to talk and get some of their music out there to touch more and more people.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. God bless you.
God bless you, my friend. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this. It was a privilege and an honor, brother.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Good night then.
Good night. God bless, man.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye.